I'm back. What have we got today? Well, I've got a Boss DD500 digital delay. Now, the thing is, honestly, I did want to get one of these for a while. You know, I've got these amps that don't have this and don't have that in them, and I've got the racks and all the rest of it, and all that's great. But usually what I find with something like a rack is you stick it on one amp and you keep it there, and because it's too much faffing around, you know, doing anything else. So along came this, and I'd got one of those green, you know, them little green analog delay was, and it's okay, but it doesn't go for very long. Those sort of pedals don't make a second in delay time, so they're shorter than that. They sound nice enough, but they are what they are. So I wanted something with a few extra bits on, and this pedal came along and it was exactly what I was looking for. It does it all. It's got all sorts of things in here, all sorts of echoes and patterns, and yeah, really cool pedal. We'll come down to that and look closer in a bit. First thing we're going to do is to see if I can whip the lid off this and show you inside. As always on a inside and outside review, which is what people come here for often, we want to see what's going on in there. We want to see, you know, the quality of the product. Often on Boss it's pretty good, but not always. I mean, I've seen some pretty crappy Boss stuff. But this one looks as if it's going to be cool. Yeah. Let's go get the lid off, and I can't wait. Well, there you go. Back's off. It has a battery compartment. Got some batteries in there, but I just didn't think I'd disconnect anything. You just have a look. So let's zoom in close and take a look at this one. Quality is actually awesome. I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get there, anytime now. So here we are inside the DD500 digital delay from Boss. It's a really well made product. It's made in Taiwan, by the way, which changes things a little bit. What you used to find actually was that Taiwan used to be a pretty bad place at one time in the early 80s. I mean, I was there doing the stuff, and I can tell you that, you know, it was a bit like China is today. Now, that doesn't mean everything in China's bad, because China's improved dramatically over the last fair few years. But historically, China, what happened was everybody in Taiwan and all the manufacturers moved to China because the costs of labour were substantially less than Taiwan. And that's something to remember about this product here. This product is made in Taiwan, and the labour costs are substantially higher than they could be in China. So what you're going to get, well, it's not just a labour cost, is it? It's what it's about actually the people that do this and the experiences they have and the abilities that they have in Taiwan, having manufactured products for years in Taiwan. I can tell you, it's very nice, and you can see as you zoom in. Okay, well, what we've got is custom chips. It's what you're always going to get from the likes of Roland. That's what they do. Maybe somebody makes them for them, maybe not, but you can see it's all surface mount. It's all extremely high quality. That's about as far as I'm able to get actually with the camera without moving it down. I don't really want to do that. So you've got loads of custom chips, really high quality surface mount. Across here you've got the usual sort of computer type connectors, and there's some further down there too, down that way. Can't easily see them. You can't easily see them, but you can see where they connect, and I can see them down here and up under this bit. So the build quality is nothing at all to be ashamed of, and indeed I'd be very proud of that if I made it. I don't know. Let's go back out a bit. Well, let's have a quick look around the back. The all important area where, you know, everybody needs to have the inputs and the outputs. Okay, you've got an A and a B input. Use the A if you're mono, and if you're stereo in from some other device that you've got, that's a stereo. Now the thing is, to turn it on, it can be powered from mains, as you can see, but actually if you put a cable in here it'll turn on, which is nice really. And on the output side, well, guess what, we've got an A and a B. We've got a stereo out or a mono out. It's pretty obvious to anybody really. We've got the usual control 1 and 2 or expression pedal, and that can be on a sort of three-way sort of stereo cable, if you will, to connect up to different things. This can it can handle an FS5U, which is the single pedal control one. We've got an FS6, which has got 2 of them on, which is useful, more useful really. We can have an FS7, which is like another pedal, A and B, and lastly an expression, which is an EV5 from these guys. So those are the models you can get. You can actually get a cable that'll split so that you can have 2 FS5Us as opposed to 1 FS6 as well. Bit boring, I don't know why you do that. You stop for the double pedal one really. That's the one I'd go for. Moving along a bit, just as interesting actually is the USB here, and you can actually synchronize this with a DAW or external MIDI device with these things, the MIDI in and out, you know. So it's all quite good in that respect. Further down here we've got the DC in. It says here use a Boss PSA adapter only. Well, that's not strictly true. You can find plenty of 9-volt adapters for that. By the way, I don't think this one comes with it, but it does allow you to have batteries underneath, and that's how I've used it for a bit. And, you know, the batteries don't seem to wear out as long as you don't leave it plugged in on this one. It's important. So let's turn it round and have a look at the other side, see where we're going with it. Okay, well, turning this thing on, it's a bit of a doddle. You need one of these. You've seen them, and you just put it into the mono slot, and up it comes. How difficult's that? You can see the tap speed here, by the way, for the delays, and obviously it's all adjustable, but good indicators right off the bat. We're on record or dub. By the way, record or dub. This is actually got a looper in it for anybody who wants to know about that sort of thing. And by the way, the recording time for the looping, if it's in mono at 48 kHz, you'll get 120 seconds or 2 minutes. 96 kHz, you'll get 60. Why on earth you'd want to record it at 96 kHz is absolutely beyond me, really. Pedal like this, but there you go. And in stereo, you get 60 seconds. Big surprise. So it's not an extended looper in any way, and you can't extend the memory in any way, but it does have a looper facility for what it's worth. You know, maybe a minute or 2 minutes is adequate, but don't forget, when you get to the end of the minute, that's it. I bought it as a delay unit, which is what it says, digital delay on the box. So I think it's just a little addition, really. Now effectively, you've got 2 delays. You've got a delay A and a delay B, and as you can see, you can flip between them. You can see the changing, and you can preset these delays for whatever you fancy. I'm not going to go into great depths. Oh, battery's low. Well, you can't have everything. Maybe it'll make the review, hopefully. Up here you've got a mode switch, which is standard mode, Terra Echo. You can control all this with these over here. Slow attack, I'll just run you through them, you can see them yourself. Filter, shimmer, SFX, whatever that is. Reverse, it's interesting but not that interesting. Pattern, dual. Vintage digital is an SD 2000 or a 3000, I do believe that's what that is. You've got a tape and you've got a regular analog, and there they are. They're all very nice, and they sound particularly good, I can tell you that. Here's a little shortcut for you. Hold down the exit and turn the knob for time or value, and it'll flip through presets, and there are loads of them. See that? It's a real nice easy way changing presets. If we want to change banks, we can press these two together. Okay. And if you want to go back up, you can press these. That's the theory. Yeah. Other obvious one is if you tap this, this will control the delay, because that's what it's there for. I don't see anything on the internet or included with it where you could edit any of this actually on a PC, which is a little bit of a letdown really, because if you could do that it'd be quite nice. It does have a USB, so I just wonder whether there is something to do with editing on the PC. I'll maybe take a look a bit further at that, and if I find it, I'll be back. I'm just going to read to you some of the parameter lists that you can change in any one of these given presets, or whether you set your own up. You've got things like the mode, sets the type of delay, the time, the delay time, beats per minute, obviously the tempo, note, the delay time with the note length relative to the bits per minute, feedback, tone, effect level, modulation depth, modulation rate, carryover, which specify whether the sound is carried over when you switch patches, which is something a lot of people look for actually. You can do that on this unit, which is very nice. Direct levels, EQ switches, EQ low cut, EQ low gain, medium gain, frequency, Q, high gain, and so on. EQ levels, low damping, all the damping, duck sensing, quack quack. Duck sensing adjusts the sensitivity which the volume is automatically adjusted according to the input. Higher values allow the adjustment to occur in response to lower volumes, if you get me. And you've got effect pan and direct pan. So there's a load of stuff that you can do in there in any given patch, and that's one of the things that makes this unit really quite flexible. I've talked very briefly about these modes here. All these are there as standard. So you've got your terror echo, adjust the amount of resonance and the tone coloration of the effect sound. Slow attack, adjust the sensitivity of this, what they call slow gear, if you're familiar with any of that. It's very common on Boss. We've got a filter mode, we've got a shimmer mode, specify the amount of pitch shift in semitone units. We've got SFX, which we talked about up here somewhere. The SFX specifies the bit depth and the sampling rate of this SFX, whatever that is. Then we've got a pattern for choosing different patterns of delay. That can be very effective if you're some guy who uses a lot of those patterns. I don't. You've also got you've got a dual mode, so that's like having two delays, and it specifies whether the two delays are connected in series or parallel. You have a vintage digital that I talked about earlier, which is just there, and that's usually SDE 3000, but it can be a 2000 as well. So that's going back to the old stuff. And a lot of guys that you'll see like to use the original SDE stuff. I think even Satriani uses one of them, if I'm right. I could be wrong. We've got a tape mode. Well, not much you can say about that. Some people like it, I hate it. Analog mode. This specifies the delay time in proportion to the number of stages that it goes through. And then we've got some other controls that we can mess around with. Tap control, control functions, control 1 and 2 preferences, control 1 and 2 functions, control 1 and 2 modes, expression preferences or expression functions. So it's very flexible on the setup for the control of this unit when it's down in front of you on the stage. Actually, to be honest, this is good enough to be in the studio. 48 kilohertz and at 96 is ridiculous. The system handles MIDI really well as well. I mean, here's some of the parameters that you can basically set. I'm not going to go through them on this little tiny screen. It's more trouble than it's worth. We've got the receive and transmit MIDI channels, PC in, PC out, CC in, CC out, time control, the A switch, the B switch, tap control, feedback, E level knob, tone CC, mod depth CC, control 1 CC, expression CC, effect on and off CC, loop on and off CC, loop record and dub CC, loop play CC, loop stop PC, loop clear CC. We got the sync, selects the tempo, clock the input that is used for synchronization. They're coming at me. Real-time source, selects the source of the real-time messages that are transmitted from the MIDI out connector to USB. So you've got this MIDI USB type of thing. It's all loads and loads of stuff in there for MIDI control, which is could be really useful for a lot of guys. As I said before, the unit has the ability to carry over the delay sound, which I always find really, really useful. There aren't so many around that can do that, and even the Helix review that I did not a million years ago, the Helix claimed in the specification that there was a spillover, but in reality it hadn't been implemented. This thing, it cost about £220 or about $300, can do it. Now, questions, what the hell are Helix doing? What's going on with line 6? Well, there you go. And when you sync with a DAW, I don't mean one you walk through, I mean a workstation, digital recorder. You can synchronize with your DD500 performance with a computer, an external MIDI device, by sending and receiving MIDI messages. For example, an external MIDI device or DAW could switch patches on the DD500 or control its tempo. So you have a number of controls for exactly that, some of which are patch changes. You can do a bank select and program change. We can synchronize with the tempo clock. We can patch some exclusive messages, but we've got these other things we can use, such as switching the A switch or the B switch, or the tap control, the expression pedal, control 1 or 2, control 2 should I say. You've got a feedback knob, which is control number 17, tone knob, control number 19, for example, the E level, mod pitch and time value. So, you know, it's all quite good stuff. And you've got MIDI messages that can only be received as well. Delay on or bypass, phrase loop, recorder overdub, loop playback, stop and clear. So loads and loads of MIDI related stuff to this pedal, and I think that's what's necessary myself. You can also do MIDI routing as well, on the sync, on the real-time source, MIDI in and out, USB in and out. Don't forget, you do need the USB driver for this if you're putting it near a PC, so you have to hop over to boss.info/support. Forget that. Don't forget also that on all those expression pedals and external switches, basically you can assign almost anything to them. That's worth remembering. I hate to say it, but that's just a quick rundown. I mean, I could twiddle around with these knobs all day, but it's not the answer. When I get to play it a bit later in the video, you'll hear some of these. I'm not going to spend years on it because everybody knows what a digital delay is, but you'll get an idea. And have a good look at this one, because this is the one I bought. Remember that. I don't buy any old thing. I've been down the road of the other stuff. There you have it. That's a real quick overview of the DD500. I must say that this pedal, from the second I bought it, has impressed me a lot. I've used a lot of other pedals and rack gear and all the rest of it, but this one seems to be relatively easy to use. There's a lot of presets in there and that sort of stuff if you want to do that. But if you want to get down to the real nitty gritty, where you can do all this funny stuff with delays, which I don't do, this can do it. And what I like about it is all this external control that you can have, and the hookup to the PC's quite nice. It's a pity, or at least I didn't see anywhere where we could do any editing directly from, you know, the PC, which lets it down a little bit. And if that's not the case, well, don't everybody come and tell me, because I just have 1,000 emails or messages to answer on YouTube when I get something wrong like that. But I couldn't see it, so maybe it's there, maybe it isn't. And I had it sitting around a while, and it just takes me time to get to the review, really. I'm doing a lot of other stuff at the moment, which you're going to learn about in the future. Oh. So there's the DD500. Now for each £220 or probably $300 I guess in America, I'm sure that will be the way it is. It'll probably begin up in price in England. That's the way everything is at the moment. Well, the dollar's staying still and the pound's going down, so it makes everything more expensive. So you guys go and get your Gibsons and your Fenders and anything else that's made in America. Well, this isn't, but it's all tied to the dollar, and the dollar and the pound have a difference, so this will go up. And it doesn't just go up by that difference, it goes up by the VAT as well, which is really frustrating, man, in England. You guys in the States don't understand how lucky you are. As well as they screw us to the floor, they're now taking the pound down so it's worth threepence. It's ridiculous. In any case, back to this. As I said, that build quality, you saw it yourself. Excellent build quality. And in fact, on most of the Boss stuff, not all, but most of it, is very, very useful stuff. I remember that GT001. That was a Boss thing, and I reviewed that, and there's no comparison, none. It was similar money at the time, and this eats that for breakfast. So this is a really useful piece of gear. I'd rate this, because of how flexible it is and all the rest of it, this is probably a 9 out of 10. It can do so many things. I think if you buy it for a looper, then don't. A 1 minute loop or 2 minute loop isn't really, well, it depends what you do, I suppose, but for me, I don't use loopers much anyway, but 1 or 2 minutes wouldn't really hack it, I don't think. I'd like to be able to put a track in there and do that sort of stuff with play to that. Yeah, that could be good. Nice cheap recorder. Yeah. So a 9 out of 10 for this one. It's priced about right in the UK. I don't know, it's priced right in the US, but $300 probably is probably right. I like the battery thing as well. What I don't like is I didn't see a power supply in there. I don't think it comes with one. I can't see it anywhere, so it probably isn't there. That noise in the background's the missus. She's like having a pet hamster on some mornings. She'll scuttle around the house and you'll hear her in the background. Yeah. Shut up. Get down. I have to be careful what I say. She might hear me. In any case, enough of me and enough of the missus. Yeah. Look up there and you might get one of them little dots that tells you about www.TonyMcKenzie.com. Or you might not, if I forget. But that's where you want to go to see loads of other reviews. Or you might want to go to my YouTube channel, where there's about 180 plus now videos, all very similar. Actually, some of them much better than this one. I'm going to do a few little jangles at the end, down there, to let you hear some of the delays. But listen, you've heard delays before, right? I'm not going to spend long on it on the playtime, but great pedal, recommended, and it's not that often that I'll actually recommend something. I own this one myself, I own nearly everything myself, and yeah, I'd buy another. So until next time, it's coming up now, is the bit of playing and things. Until next time, I'll see you. Okay, well, here we are. I'm going to show you a few sounds from the Boss Digital Delay DD500. I mean, there are thousands of sounds in here, but I ain't going to be at it all day. I'll just show you a few. I'm not going to do just presets. I'm just going to fool around. You'll see what I'm doing, and that's about it. But yeah, pretty great pedal, actually, and one I really like. Pity it doesn't come with the power supply, by the way. You have to buy that extra. Stingy, right, stingy. Yeah, but there you go. Okay, so let's zoom in and have a look at a few presets. And by the way, the amp's just set clean and it's going through the same old Chupacabra. Or Chupacabra. I don't know which one it is, but it's a sort of a weird dog thing. Here we go, let's take a look at this. Well, okay, here we have the sort of default tone, or default reverb, if you will, and it's in standard mode. If you want to slow it down a bit, it's all easy enough. You can sort of just tap it a few times. How odd was that? There's a few examples. I'm going to move around to Terra Echo. One or two Terras in our place. That's the settings when it comes up. I'm not changing anything at all, it's just exactly what it is. Nice, do that again. What can I say? Let's move on. The soil attack. Okay, filter, just all defaults, not going to mess around too much, I've got all day. Shimmer. Let's move on. SFX, your guess is as good as mine. Oh well. Reverse. Patterns, lots of them. I'm not going through them all, like I said. Dual. digital. Tape. An analog. Well, there you had it. That was a quick review of the DD-500 from Roland, or Boss as they sometimes call themselves. I don't know which. There you go. See you next time.